How do destructive relationship patterns occur and sustain within a relationship? The first piece is that in general, each person takes on a particular role, and they can, of course, switch back and forth, but in general, they stay pretty firm in one of the following roles. One person tends to suppress their emotions, and when things get more and more tense, they get colder and colder, or quieter and quieter, or they tend to kind of brush aside difficulties. This kind of person tends to be drawn towards someone who's very reactive. So the reactor becomes very critical, very verbal, and they tend to go over and over the same things because they're shaming when they go over and over the same things. Both individuals, the origin of these patterns come from their childhood. So they could grow up in a reactive or suppressive home, but these are dysfunctional family systems where people are either not allowed to discuss their emotions, or emotions are discussed, but in the context of really high conflict, kind of ripping you apart. You have to justify how you feel, or vice versa. So when you find yourself in this pattern, it becomes really important to do your own individual work. Often when I work with couples who are in this pattern, they're so focused on the couple, and they're very avoidant of working individually. But the challenge is that these are deeply rooted patterns that really need to be addressed individually, and also you can work as a couple. These can be changed if the right work is done to address the core issues. So instead of blaming the other person, blaming the relationship, looking at the core issues. These relationships are also characterized with a tendency towards a lack of trust, a lack of emotional openness, fighting about little things to avoid the larger issues. For example, if someone comes in and they're upset because, I don't know, the person bought something without them knowing or without their approval, they can focus on that specific instance, but they want to really focus on the larger piece of, like, I don't feel connected to you. I don't feel like we're communicating appropriately. Instead of these very particular kind of splitting hairs conflicts.